So let's talk about how Soulja Boy is low-key a genius pioneer and like a winner, and nobody really talks about this enough. Well, I think that he's made sure that everybody talks about it. And I think that it's so interesting that he has positioned himself or presents himself like he's like ignorant, like he's illiterate. I hate to sound like this, but like he's just like, you would just look at Soulja Boy, he's holding these like money phones and doing all this crazy stuff, and he looks like, he looks super high. You actually think that he's an idiot. You actually legitimately think that he's an idiot, but this guy is a genius, and that's how he has been able to win. You know, my high school teacher used to say this all the time. My high school history teacher would say, how did Hitler dominate? How did Hitler win? It's because he was underestimated. That was his biggest advantage, being underestimated. And I think that's the same thing with Soulja Boy. Everybody looks at Soulja Boy, they think he's like, his rapping sucks. They think he's high all the time. They think he's stupid. So nobody really had respect for him for so many years. And in the meantime, he was just stacking that paper, making more money, making so much more money. And I'm going to talk about how Soulja Boy has been able to navigate the music landscape and how it can help you as an artist or as a creator navigate the spaces that are emerging just the same way that Soulja Boy did. So the first half of this video, the first part of this video, I'm going to break down what Soulja Boy did. Second part of this video, I'm going to break down what you could do now based on what Soulja Boy did. But before we get into that, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. It really pushes this video out in the algorithm and encourages me to make more videos. This video is brought to you by Brand Video Pro. We help brands and influencers scale their influence and sales. So if that is useful to you, head on over to our website, click the link down below, and find out how we can help you. So let's begin. Number one, what did Soulja Boy did? Well, that's the thing. He tapped into an emerging medium. Just a quick rundown of how Soulja Boy started. Soulja Boy first was like, I think he said he was on some app. I can't remember what it was called. I'll put it in there. But he used to upload his music there, and he was getting so many streams. I mean, he does exaggerate, so I don't know if his numbers are accurate, but he claims he was getting millions of streams on this like website. Then when MySpace came, he was pretty much the first artist on MySpace, and he was like basically uploading music on LimeWire. And like LimeWire was, if you know LimeWire, right? Back in those MySpace days, going through LimeWire, finding like the latest music. That was it back then. So, and notice a lot of times back then, if you had downloaded something on LimeWire and you play it, maybe it's a Christina Aguilera song and you play it and it's like some fake song and it's not Christina Aguilera. Soulja Boy was one of those guys. He would put his songs, he would like Google the top 5 songs or top songs in the top 50 charts. Then he would like he would put his song there and he'd write the name of that song and put it up on LimeWire. So when anyone downloaded the song, they would have a Soulja Boy song, and they would then eventually, it might be on their iPhone or we used to use iPods then. It might be on their iPod and they would just play it, and now they have a Soulja Boy song on their iPod. And that's how he dominated. He looked at the opportunities, he found a way to hack the system and make himself relevant. And make himself on everybody's iPods. So that's what he did. Then he was on MySpace. He got so many followers on MySpace. Then he saw YouTube emerging, started posting on YouTube. Nobody was vlogging. Nobody was doing gamer YouTube content. He was doing that. He was making music. His music sucked. Unfortunately, his music is his music, but people would troll him, and he was just getting so many views, because nobody else was doing it. So he was the only, when you go on YouTube, he was pretty much one of the few rappers that you would find there. Probably, he claims he was the first one. So that's an emerging market. That's an emerging opportunity. What's another thing he did? When he signed his deal with a record label, I think Jimmy Iovine signed him to Interscope, right? He signed his deal with a record label. He didn't give away all his goods. He held on to the ringtones. Nobody knew that people were going to buy ringtones back then on cell phones. But he held on to the ringtones. He named his album SouljaBoyTellHim.com because he knows that the label's going to push this album. And then he's now created this website, Soulja Boy Tell Him. It's a real website. So people are going to go to that website, and he was getting so much traffic on the website from based on the publicity from the label. Why do you think right now labels create 360 deals? It's probably because they saw what Soulja Boy did. They marketed him, and he utilized the back end and made money on the back end. And they were like, whoa, we should have done that. They just gave him all those opportunities because he was the first, or one of the first to do that. He also had a song, Kiss Me Through the Phone. And he put his phone number on there, but not his real phone number. It was one of those like say now numbers. Everybody does it now. You know those celebrities that say text me? Everyone does it now, but he was the first to do it. And that was like 2010, right? People are calling his number, and he's making money off of those calls. Emerging markets. Now he's created a game console. I don't know if that's like relevant anymore. He's claiming that someone's going to buy it for $100 million. And I don't really know that that is relevant right now because we're moving into the metaverse. But he's somebody that understands consumer behavior. He's somebody that understands emerging markets. He studies that, and he's used that as an opportunity to monetize. And that is exactly what you need to do. What is an emerging market right now? Speaking of which, the metaverse. That is emerging. So if you are a creator, musician, any kind of like creator, I really believe that you should be on the metaverse creating content and finding those gaps in the market that Soulja Boy found and producing those gaps. The barrier for entry in the metaverse is super low. It's low compared to, think about like the internet, right? Back in the day in the 80s or 90s when people started going online. You have to spend like thousands of dollars buying a computer. Today, yes, you can have a cell phone, and you could get $100 cell phone and be online today. You can do that. But 20 years, 30 years ago, you needed to spend $2,000 to get online. So right now, this is the era for the metaverse, and it's as low as $300. Well, this is not a sponsored video. This is Oculus headset. I don't know if there are cheaper headsets. There might be. But I'm just saying it's $300 and you can be in the metaverse. I think that's pretty dope. That's a low barrier to entry compared to what it was in the past. So consider it. And this $300 is going to help you see business opportunities that are emerging and take advantage of them the same way that Soulja Boy took advantage of his opportunities. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. A peace.